Hello everyone, welcome to Brain Blitz Audios. Today we're going to be starting a new series called JEE Main. So over here we're going to be discussing about previous year questions of mathematics appearing in engineering exams in India. So today we're dealing with the topic probability, and these are the questions of probability that are asked in JEE Main's exam. So today we'll be doing it simple with 5 questions, and we hope that you find this episode interesting and useful because a lot of people are writing exams this year. So without further ado, let's start with our first problem. The first problem states, a problem in mathematics is given to 3 students, A, B, and C, and their respective probability of solving the problem is 1/2, 1/3, and 1/4 respectively. We need to find the probability that the problem is solved. This question was asked in 2002. So, how do we solve this question? Now, the given information is that P of A equals 1/2, P of B equals 1/3, P of C equals 1/4. So, now, here we need to find that the problem is solved. So, just in case, we'll also write the probability of A not occurring, B not occurring, and C not occurring as well. So, P of A dash will be equal to 1 minus P of A. So, that's 1 minus half, which is equal to half. Similarly, P of B dash will be equal to 1 minus 1/3. That is 2/3. P of C dash will be equal to 1 minus 1/4, which is equal to 3/4. So we now have PA, PA dash, PB, PB dash, PC, as well as PC dash. So here we need to find a specific kind of probability. The probability that we need to find is that the probability that the problem is solved. So we don't care who solves it, we just want the problem to get solved. So that means we need to find P of at least 1 solves the problem, because if any person, like if anyone solves the problem, we can consider the problem as solved. So even if one person solves it, or 2 persons, or even all 3 of them solve it together, we would still consider it. So the probability that we need to assign here is P of at least 1 solves the problem. Now we can write that as 1 minus P of nobody, that is none of them solves the problem. So let's write the left-hand side as P of required. So that means the required probability. And the right-hand side will be 1 minus P of none of them solve the problem will be the same as the product of P of A dash, P of B dash, and P of C dash, because P of A dash is not P of A not occurring, PB dash is P of B not occurring, P of C dash is P of C not occurring. So if you want to find the probability that none of them occurs, then you need to multiply these 3, and that's why we did that conversion earlier. So you get 1 minus 1/2 times 2/3 times 3/4. 3 gets cancelled, 2 gets cancelled, you get 1 minus 1/4. So the required probability, which is P of A union B union C in terms of set, can be written down as 3/4. So the right answer for this first question is option A, 3/4. And we did that by first assigning each of the probabilities, then finding out the probability of the event not occurring, and then since we need to find the probability that the problem is solved, we just subtract the probability that the problem is not solved from 1. That is the total probability. So that is 1 minus p of a dash times p of b dash times p of c dash. So we already found the inverse events as well, so therefore we can find out the final answer from there. So that's how we found option A, 3 by 4, is the right answer. This is the next question. A and B are events such that P of A union B is 3 by 4, P of A intersection B is 1 by 4, P of A dash is 2 by 3. Then you need to find the value of P of A dash intersection B. So, in this question, we're given the value of P of A union B, which is 3 by 4, P of A intersection B, which is 1 by 4, and P of A dash, which is equal to 2 by 3. So now, since P of A dash is given, then you can find out P of A as 1 minus P of A dash. So that is 1 minus 2 by 3, which is equal to 1 by 3. So P of A is equal to 1 by 3. Now that you know P of A, you can also find P of B by using this simple formula. P of A union B can be written down as P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. So that means you can write 3 by 4 as equal to 1 by 3 plus P of B minus 1 by 4. So therefore, P of B can be written down as 3 by 4 plus 1 by 4 minus 1 by 3. So you can write 3 by 4 plus 1 by 4 as 4 by 4. That is 1 minus 1 by 3. So the value of P of B is equal to 2 by 3. So in that question, we were asked to find out the value of the P of A dash intersection B. So now let's take a moment to know what does A dash intersection B it really means. So suppose you have a Venn diagram like this, where this is A and this is B. So A dash means that you need to take all of the elements except the ones in set A. So that means you take the elements outside of these two circles. You take the elements of this in circle B that are not part of circle A also. So that is P of A dash. Now you need to intersect it with P of B. I mean, if the term is present in B, then it's inside the circle B. It is not outside the circle B, whether it be A or anything else. So therefore, the final probability will actually be inside the circle B. So it'll be inside B, but the part which A and B shares is not part of this because that is occupied by elements of A. So A dash intersection B gives you this graph. So A dash intersection B is the same as B minus A. So we can write the probability of A dash intersection B as P of B, that is the whole of that, minus P of A intersection B. Because if you see, you have the set B here, but then the sliver that is A intersection B is being taken out of it to form A dash intersection B. So therefore, this formula is valid. So now let's write that formula again. P of A dash intersection B is equal to P of B minus P of A intersection B. So we can write that as 2 by 3 minus 1 by 4. Let's take the common denominator as 12. 2 times 4 is 8. 1 times 3 is 3. So therefore, the final answer is 5 divided by 12. So 5 divided by 12 gives you the right answer. And we did that by using the Venn diagram. In this case, the Venn diagram is very important because when you draw the Venn diagram, you got a clear picture of what you need to find out. So here it's basically B minus A. So that we easily found out using the set B and A intersection B as well. So if you look at this question, then once again, option A gives you the correct answer. So the first thing we did is that we found out the values of P of A and P of B, and then we looked at a Venn diagram of the representation that is given, that is A dash intersection B. So once again, for the benefit of the audience, the Venn diagram is like this. So this is A and this is B. So A dash intersection B means that the elements are from the area in set B, which are not enclosed by set A. So basically, it's P of B minus P of A intersection B. We used that formula and we found out that the value of P of A dash intersection B is equal to 5 by 12. So option A gives you the right option. Once again, this question was asked in 2002. The next question. Events A, B, C are mutually exclusive events such that P of A is 3x plus 1 by 3, P of B is 1 minus x by 4, P of C is 1 minus 2x divided by 2. You need to find the set of possible values of x in an interval. So you need to find which of these intervals is the correct one. The question was asked in 2003. And this question is long because you need to follow a particular step, although with practice you can do this in your memory as well. We'll just do it on paper. So over here, the important thing to note is that all of these probabilities, P of A, P of B, and P of C, lie from 0 to 1. So all probabilities lie from 0 to 1. There is no change whatsoever. So 0 less than or equal to P of A, less than or equal to 1. So if we put the value of P of A, then that will be equal to 3x plus 1 divided by 3, less than or equal to 1. Now what you need to do is you need to take the value of 3x plus 1 by 3 as 0 and as 1. So when 3x plus 1 by 3 equals 0, that means 3x plus 1 equals 0. So 3x equals minus 1. X equals minus 1 by 3. So that's the first part. The second part for P of A is to take 3x plus 1 by 3 as equal to 1. Let's draw a line to separate them. So 3x plus 1 is equal to 3. 3x is equal to 3 minus 1, that is 2. X is equal to 2 by 3. So now for P of A, the function that is the value of x lies between the intervals minus 1 by 3, less than or equal to x, less than or equal to 2 by 3. So this is how you find the value of x for each of the given equations. Let's take that for P of B as well. So 0 less than or equal to P of B, less than or equal to 1. When you take the formula, that is 0 less than or equal to 1 minus x by 4, less than or equal to 1. So a quick tip, if you're checking for the integral, you have to put in the values. So maybe the 0 value will be positive and the 1 value will be negative. Just take the negative value on the left and the positive value on the right. So if 1 minus x by 4 equals 0, that means 1 minus x equals 0, so x equals 1. And on the right hand side, 1 minus x by 4 equals 1, then that means 1 minus x equals 4, which means x equals 1 minus 4, that is equal to minus 3. So you can write 1 less than or equal to x less than or no, that is wrong. That's what I've been telling. It's actually minus 3 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 1. So this is what you should be doing. So find out the values of x from both situations, and then take the negative value before x and the positive value after x. So lesser value before and greater value after. That's how you find out these these intervals. So now let's continue the same with P of C. So 0 less than or equal to P of C less than or equal to 1. For P of C, the equation will be 1 minus 2x by 2 less than or equal to 1. So 1 minus 2x by 2 equals 0. 1 minus 2x is equal to 0. 2x is equal to 1. X equals 1 by 2. And if you take the other part, 1 minus 2x by 2 equals 1. 1 minus 2x will be equal to 2. 2x will be equal to 1 minus 2. X is equal to 1 minus 2 will be minus 1. So that will be minus 1 by 2. So you have minus 1 by 2 and 1 by 2. So therefore, the interval of x is, it will be minus 1 by 2 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 1 by 2. So now you found the intervals for x in P of A, P of B, and P of C. You need to find this for one more value as well. That is the sum for all of these equations. So 0 less than or equal to P of A plus P of B plus P of C less than or equal to 1. So that means 0 less than or equal to 3x plus 1 by 3 plus 1 minus x by 4 plus 1 minus 2x by 2 less than or equal to 1. So now when we try to simplify this, the LCM is 12, and then you will have to multiply 3 by 4 to get 3 with 4 to get 12. So you multiply the numerator with 4. So that means you get 12x plus 4. And then this numerator must be multiplied with 3. So that is plus 3 minus 3x. And then you need to multiply 6 to the last numerator. So that means plus 6 minus 12x. And then less than or equal to 1. So 12x and 12x gets cancelled. And you have 4 plus 6 is 10. 10 plus 3 is 13. So 0 less than or equal to 13 minus 3x divided by 12 less than or equal to 1. So basically now it's 13 minus 3x by 12 equals 0. 13 minus 3x equals 0. So you will have 3x equals 13. That means x equals 13 by 3. When you take 13 minus 3x divided by 12 equals 1, then you will get 13 minus 3x equals 12. 3x is equal to 13 minus 12, that is 1. So x will be equal to 1 by 3. So here you can see 1 by 3 is less in value than 13 by 3. So therefore, you'll get 1 by 3 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 13 by 3 for the last case. Now, we know from the question that A, B, and C are mutually exclusive. So that means to take intersection, what we do is we take the least value of interval as the greatest among the four, and the greatest value of interval as the least among the four. So let me explain what this means. This means that we need to find, so in all of these intervals there are the values on the left and the values on the right. So to choose the value on the left for the final, for the intersection, you need to take the greatest value for that. So the greatest value is, if you take here, if you take A, it's minus 1 by 3. If you take B, it's minus 3, that's even less. If you take C, it's minus 1 by 2, still lesser. But if you take 1 by 3, then you can find out that the interval will have the least value of the interval as 1 by 3. So 1 by 3 less than or equal to x less than or equal to. Now we go to the second statement. The greatest value must be the least among the 4. So what that means is that if we take 2 by 3, that's our standard, 1 is less. But if you take 1 by 3, that's even lesser, but 1 by 2 is the least among them. So therefore 1 by 3 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 1 by 2 will be the correct interval. So that means x belongs to the closed interval 1 by 3, comma 1 by 2. This is our final answer. And if you take our options, you will find that option D corresponds to the correct option. Now let's look at the next question. 5 horses are in a race. Mr. A, somebody, selects 2 of the horses at random and bets on them. The probability that Mr. A selected the winning horse is. So you can see that the number of horses are equal to 5. And you need to take, and what Mr. A does is that he selects 2 of the horses at random. Now if you notice, this selection cannot be replaced. He cannot select a horse and then replace it and take another horse in a bet. He cannot do that. When he takes 2 of the horses at random, he takes them away from the 5. So therefore, this cannot be replaced, this selection. So that means in probability, you will have to multiply for each of the cases. Now, the probability that we're looking for is the probability that Mr. A selected the winning horse and won the bet. So what we need to see is that we need to find P of A, that is Mr. A, must win. So for that probability to be found out, we need to subtract the probability of A losing from 1. So 1 minus P of A losing is where P of A is winning. So how do you find out P of A is losing? So P of A losing will be equal to the selection of the horse. So 1 minus the selection of the horse. So as we said earlier, the selections here are non-replaceable. So Mr. A selects 1 horse from 5. So the remaining number is 4 by 5. So the first horse that he selected does not win. Times the second horse that he selected from the 4 that is remaining does not win. So 1 has selected, and if he's 1, that's 1 by 4. Otherwise, it will be 3 by 4. So 4 by 5 times 3 by 4 is the right answer here. So now let's multiply them together. So what you get is 12 by 20, or you can cancel out 4. That will give you 3 by 5. So P of A must win. That means the probability that Mr. A is winning is 1 minus P of A losing. So that will be equal to 1 minus 3 by 5, which is equal to 2 by 5. So it's basically 5 minus 3 by 5. That is 2 by 5. So 2 by 5 is the correct answer to this question. And if you look at our following options, you can see that option C is the right answer. Note that this question was asked in 2003, and it is quite simple if you know where to look. And most of the questions are like that. The final question for this episode is to find out the probability again. So here we're given that the probability that A speaks the truth is 4 by 5, while the probability for B speaking the truth is 3 by 4. The probability that they contradict each other when asked to speak is. So this question was asked in 2004, and it has a little bit of working out to do. So what we do first is we take out the probabilities given. So P of A, that means P of A speaks the truth, is 4 by 5. So that means if A were to lie, then that will be P of A dash, which is 1 minus 4 by 5, which is equal to 1 by 5. Similarly, P of B is taken as 3 by 4. So P of B dash is equal to 1 minus 3 by 4. That is equal to 1 by 4. Now, there is a reason why we take the probability of the event not occurring as well. So A speaks the truth, this is A lies, this is B speaks the truth, and this is the probability that B lies. Now, the probability that is required, which we can write as P contradict, so this is the probability that they contradict each other. So if you think about it, for them to contradict each other on a given fact, one of them must speak a lie and the other must speak the truth. So it can be A speaking the truth and B lying, which in that case we'll write P of A times P of B dash, or, and that's why we add a plus, it can be B speaking the truth and A lying. So that means you can write P of B times P of A dash. So now we can put in the probabilities. P of A is 4 by 5 times P of B dash is 1 by 4 plus P of B is 3 by 4 times P of A dash is 1 by 5. So now we get 4 by 20 plus 3 by 20. Now that will be equal to 7 divided by 20. So the probability that A and B contradict each other is 7 divided by 20. And if you look at our options, option A is the correct option in this case. Now the trick here is the word contradict. So for contradicting, you need to be aware of the fact that when A and B contradict each other, one of them must speak a lie and the other must speak a truth. The role can be interchanged, which is why we add a plus to the probability. So we add the probabilities up. So that concludes this episode of JEE Main, and we hope you found this episode interesting as well as informative. Some of these questions could be repeated for this year, so be sure to check our other videos coming on this playlist as well. We also have other playlists related to NEET and also other exams. So if you really want to check out all of our useful and interesting content, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel, which is Brain Blitz Audios. So until the next webisode, take care, stay safe, bye-bye for now.